Good morning, Vietnam. Hey, it's, let's see, May 24th of 2023. I start this video off using that commentary, if you will, from the famous Robin Williams. I can't even remember what the name of the movie was. But where I'm at, it is an amazing morning. Beautiful skies. I'm around super friendly people that are appreciative to hear what I say. You know, they're happy to hear some positivity because all they've been exposed to is the negativity. Speaking of Robin Williams, I believe he's passed, which, you know, his bullshit's over. Think about it. Robin Williams started off doing this kids show where I can't even remember his name. He was an alien. And the reason why I chose this is one of my viewers, I guess you could say, asked what my opinion was of aliens. And I basically don't have an opinion. I mean, first thing we would have to do is identify what you consider an alien. I mean, there's a lot of viewers that would probably consider me an alien. I mean, simply of how lights react around me. I mean, you look, the lights will react to my movements at time. And I can tell, they're not doing it right now, but I can tell because I'll feel kind of a tingle in my body and I'll feel, or rather hear ringing increase in my ears. It is what it is. Electronics are being affected more and more and more. And if you think this is a trick or a scam, it's not. It is what it is. By the way, what you see here, yes, I told you I do not lie. And I am sitting in the House of Truths. That does have bulletproof panels behind the wall. It is fireproof. You can even see smoke alarm. See my kitchenette area plus medical area plus tattoo sterilization area, my tattoo bed behind me. You can see over here, there we go, in case things get the way I don't want them to get. But unfortunately, my current situation, if you guys have been following, you'll know that it's not realistic for me to be able to go back into a hospital due to Good Samaritan Health Services and Mary's Peak Physicians. But we're going to discuss those more, those two, because these are people that have your life in their hands. In essence, they're playing God. And for them to act the way they've acted and hide with such coward is not acceptable. And until they admit that what they did was wrong, and all I want is an apology. You know, admit what you did was horrible. And you guys destroyed my life. But this is where, because I told you, and yes, I jump off track, try speaking in pure truths. Let's see how good you do. Quit judging me, and hey, start self-reflecting. Spend the day strictly speaking truths, where you do not feel sorry for you for one single thing. You do not say anything negative towards a single thing. You're just being 100% honest from your heart and between you and your God. Yeah, I know you guys would have a very difficult time, and like I've said before, this is why the Bible is hard to understand, because you're used to always viewing everything from the negative first. My story did get completed as Trent suing on how to solve all the problems of the world simply by loving yourself enough to listen. Trent suing is still around. You know, that's the 10% of me. The 90% of me is my consciousness, where I'm with my God, and I hang on to that 10% so that I know how to dodge you guys, so that I know how to shield myself from the negativity that you guys are going to project onto me. Makes sense, right? On my live stream, the last post I did, or actually, I think it was not the live stream, it was the video. Last video I posted, I said the time for judgment begins. And what I mean by that is I do not wish to cast negativity upon anybody at all. By no means. I want to spend the rest of my life giving love, extreme love to everybody and asking absolutely nothing in return for myself. As you notice, I have zero comfort. Zero. Everything I'm doing and everything I'm investing in has nothing to do with me. It has to do with giving you unconditional, undeserving love. Now, that being said, in order for me to do that, I cannot enable you to keep lying to yourself. Fair? I mean, why would I do that? I want to help you. I don't want to hurt you. So now is when we get into the part of, let's say, your existence that I get the negative to recognize itself. Remember all the way back in the very beginning, I said the God code, you know, the code that Ashley said I would kill her if she gave it to anybody, but then immediately afterwards I gave it to anyway. You recognize the negative. You find the positive in it. Anything positive. Just find it. Give yourself love. Find something positive in every single negative experience you've had in your life. Then you get the negative to recognize itself. Because when you have a negative and a negative, it becomes a positive. And a positive and a positive is your truths between you and your God. So those of you viewers, because I can't call you listeners because it's obvious you're not listening. You're just viewing, looking for the negative entertainment, I guess is the best way I could describe it. You will think that I am spreading nothing but negativity. But oh my dear, you are wrong. Remember, I am conscious. You are not. Therefore, I am not willing to enable you to keep being unconscious. So unfortunately, I have to point out the negative to get you to recognize the negative so that you can make it a positive. I mean, basic math. But, yeah. So, hey, what do you guys think? 2 weeks, pretty freaking impressive. This was a bare bones utility trailer that I had. Didn't have anything on the inside. Had some cheesy carpet kind of glued to it. But now it has bulletproofing. It's fireproof. It's tremendously soundproof. I'm rather surprised. Nice sterile waterproof floor. I can literally hose this entire thing out with Cavicide if I feel the need. If I get somebody who has tuberculosis or whatever, I can literally hose down the entire inside. Yeah, pretty cool. And now stop and think. I created this at the same time of circling every single professional with authority in the state of Oregon. At the same time, getting rid of every ounce of my possessions that I had in my paid off home. At the same time, repairing all the repairs that the home inspection wanted. And, buying all new stuff so that I could do what I'm doing. Literally, there's nobody else in the world that could accomplish what I've accomplished in the last couple weeks. Literally. I challenge anybody to go up against me. I think you're getting smart enough now to know that maybe that wouldn't be a wise idea. Your negativity is going to say, because, yeah, why would you argue with a mentally ill man? Which is incredibly true. Do not argue with someone mentally ill. If someone's yelling at you, do not argue with them. Just say, hey, I love you. Let's stop once you've calmed down. Because if you argue with them when they are upset, you are more mentally ill than they are. Basic common sense, right? Unfortunately, as a society, we've lost that basic common sense, but I'm here to help gain it back. Anyways, back to Robin Williams. I wish I could remember that. I had it as I was getting ready to sit down and talk to you guys. It was a short name too. I think it started with a Z or something. Anyways, this man in his time, he went in front of the camera and let's be honest, he looked goofy as hell. He acted goofy as hell. And he was treated as an outcast. I can relate to him. But all he wanted to do was give love. Then Robin Williams, advanced in his career, moved away from that, and did a lot of good acting. I could always tell there was something up, though. Something up with his soul that was bothering him. I could feel his pain clear back as a kid when I watched him doing that Martian, alien, whatever you want to call it. I think how us as humans view names and how important names are is absolutely ridiculous. You think about it. Names are given by another unconscious human. So why in the hell would? That's kind of like arguing with someone mentally ill. Names mean nothing to me. That's why, like I said before, I did away with my name. What is my new name? It's none of your business. I am what I am. Plain and simple. Now, back to the Good Morning Vietnam. During the Vietnam era, horrible, horrible things were happening. And I want to give love to every veteran. Those veterans out there that feel nobody gets it. Nobody cares about the sacrifice that you made. Oh, trust me, brothers and sisters, I care. And I understand. I have been in those shoes my entire existence. But it's going to get better, I assure you. I will cease to exist before I stop trying to make the world the best place you could ever imagine. Why? Because I love you, and you deserve it. Even you listeners, viewers rather, sorry, that are haters. Oh, I got a little extra love for you too, because you're the ones that need it the most. Speaking of the haters, let's think back to good old Jane Fonda. I don't even know if she's still alive. I remember when she did the movie on Golden Pond with her father. I thought that was pretty amazing. Something tells me that her and her father's relationship wasn't necessarily ideal, but it was good enough to do what they did together. And I want to say to the two of you, even if you're no longer with us, thank you. That movie, it warmed my heart. It really did. And Jane, the work you did standing out against the war, and the spit in the face that a lot of society gave you for that work, thank you, sister. I love you. You were doing what your heart was telling you to do. And that is never a lie. And anyways, so unfortunately, we now are going to start getting the oh, and if you guys think I'm playing some trick or doing some BS, here, this is what it looks like with the lights off. Now, look how, yeah, as my hand gets closer to the lights, why do they slow down? You guys tell me. You think I'm alien, you think I'm lying, you think I'm doing all this. Okay, then justify any of this shit. Justify it. How is it happening? How am I stopping? Yeah, no shit, right? And notice as my heart rate goes, it tends to do the same thing. And no, these are not strobe lights. These are my tattooing blue lights. And I'm using a cheap Amazon webcam. And FRP, fireproof, panels on the inside. I'm not playing with you guys. I'm speaking 100% pure truths and 100% pure transparency. But yet you guys want to feel I'm mentally ill. Interesting. In all actuality, kind of like a police officer asked me, and if you've taken the time to actually watch the documentary, which I know majority of you get like 5 minutes into it and stop watching, that's okay, because everybody has a choice, and the choice is to listen to your God and choose to be one with your God or not, because the time has come that the bullshit's over. I would think that you guys would be incredibly excited and jumping for joy and doing the same thing as me, giving away every ounce of your belongings to other people and not asking anything in return. It feels amazing. And I refer to the universe will always provide what I need. You cannot imagine how true that is. I mean, but anyway, this isn't about me. This is about you. And this is about you learning to truly love yourself. So, I would like to have you guys take the time to read this. This is what, oh, there go the cameras again. There we go. Stop it and read it. This is what was given to the Community Health Services of Benton County, the Benton County Community Health Services, because they were the ones that claim I'm mentally ill. The professionals, the experts that feel they have the right to decide how the entire world views you, whether or not you're healthy, whether or not you're in the proper religious standing, whether or not you're a threat to society, whether or not you're a threat to yourself. In essence, they play God. Let's see how they're doing it, their job. Now, granted, I can show all of this I want. This is my private medical record. Remember, everything you view as a negative, I view as a positive. And everything that you view as a positive, I find the positive in it. So I literally have way more resources than the average person does, because there is absolutely nothing in this world I can't use towards my advantage. Totally different than past stories. For example, let's take the famous Jesus story. Man, I wish that brother would have known what I know. But hey, it took me 53 years to know what I needed to know in order to be able to pull this off. And in order to not be crucified other than by my family. True? Oh, speaking of which, take a close look at the palm of my hand. It's hard to see. Let your brain see it. Fill with your heart. What do you see in the palm of my hand? Yeah, that's kind of cool, huh? No, I'm not tattooing on myself in the House of Truths. That's an old tattoo. You know, there's my head once I've shaved again. I know I'm totally unpredictable to all of you. You guys cannot predict what I'm possibly going to do. You know why? Because I've purged all the negativity. I have 90% more use of my brain than you have of yours. Probably more than that for a lot of you. And all you have to do is wake up. I want you to be exactly where I said. I want you to be better than I am, so I don't have to keep doing this. You know, let's stop and think about all the major influences in this world, the people who are considered the best people on earth. Dalai Lama, the Pope, Buddha, Jesus, Einstein. The list goes on and on and on, and I really hate going over names because they're a joke. But out of all those stories, there's only one of them that I can think of that's similar to my story. That's the Jesus story. You know, the first people, and no, I have not read the Jesus story, so if I'm not exactly wording it the way you feel it should be worded, well, that's your problem, not mine. I'm the one telling this story. And you don't even know who told the last story truly. And you know it wasn't by someone conscious. Because if they were conscious, they never in a million years would have put, and I mean literally a million years, would have put worship in the Bible. Unless that worship is worship the inner God in you, worship your heart, worship your unconditional, undeserving love for yourself, which requires you to have unconditional, undeserving love for everybody else. Notice how calm and how direct and focused I am. It's because you guys cannot attack or judge me anymore. You can't even speak to me unless I want you to speak to me. You know, ask yourself, how much of your life have you been feeling sorry for yourself? Yeah, no shit, huh? Very first experience in life when you came out of your mother's womb. And if you were of the era where the doctors would smack you on the bottom to get you to wake up, you cried. Self-preservation, danger, scare, feeling sorry for yourself. Then stop and think. First time your mother took her breast out of your mouth, if she was able to do that, or the first time the bottle was taken out of your mouth, you cried. Danger. Physical mind trying to protect you. Bad, bad. No, no. No, disassemble. Johnny 5, remember that? For you people who are old enough like I am. So the progression keeps going on and on and on, where the brain is always looking for the negativity first, out of survival. I'm not, hey, love your brain, because guess what? Only 10% function. Your brain has been able to keep you alive until your consciousness comes about, until your inner soul, until you're one with your God wakes up. So yes, your 10% treats your body horribly. Majority of us treat animals better than we treat ourselves. Yeah, sad. I can say the same thing. And speaking of animals, Caesar, I miss you, Holmes. I love you. We know it was the right thing when you stared at me all the way as were driven out of the cul-de-sac. And as you went by the brown house, you did not stop staring at me. You didn't whine. You just knew. You knew I had to do what I had to do. Yes, being by myself is lonely. Knowing that I am constantly being judged by everybody, I understand it. It's because it's your illusion. I actually have an important phone call coming in. Therefore, I'll pick you guys up later. Have a good one. Hello, this is Trent.